Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. See, in the last class, we have discussed a priori algorithm. Okay, so in today's class, we shall study about the support counting. Okay, so again, see this support counting, it is actually one of the process that we will be performing in the a priori algorithm. Say support counting is nothing but say it is the process of counting the frequency of occurrence of the candidate item set. Okay, so whether that candidate item set is present in the transaction or not. Okay, so we will be counting the frequency, that is how many times this candidate item set is appearing in the transaction. We will be counting that frequency. So that process of counting or determining the frequency of occurrences of every candidate item set. Okay, so it is called as a support counting, and this process will be done after candidate pruning. So candidate pruning is nothing but see, as I explained in the previous that is problems of a priori algorithm. There we will be removing some of the candidates based on the a priori property. So that is called as candidate pruning. That is removing some of the candidates by applying a priori property. So this process support counting will be done only after candidate pruning here. Okay, so support counting is nothing but it is the process of determining the frequency of occurrence of every candidate item set that survives the candidate pruning step. We need to count in how many transactions the candidate item set is occurring. That frequency of occurrence is called as the support counting. So in that algorithm, a priori algorithm, in the steps 4 to 7, see, they are going to specify the support counting process. See, already I explained the a priori algorithm in the previous class. If you look at these steps 4 to 7, see, these steps, they are going to specify the a priori algorithm, sorry, the support counting in the a priori algorithm. So one of the method that we have followed in that is support counting is, that is, in order to find the frequency of occurrences, we have compared the transaction with the candidate item set. Okay, and if that candidate item set is present in the transaction, then we have updated the support count of that candidate. That is the approach we have followed in the a priori algorithm in order to find the support count of the candidate item set. That is, one of the approach for doing this is to compare each transaction against every candidate item set and to update the support count of the transaction contained in the transaction. So yeah, what we have done is we have compared each of the transaction here with the candidate item set. If the candidate item set is present in the transaction, then only we have updated the support count of that candidate item set. If it is not present, then we have not incremented the support count. Okay, so that is the approach that we have followed in the solving of the problems of the a priori algorithm. But the disadvantage of this approach is, so it is very expensive. Computationally, it is very expensive, because if there are large number of transactions and a large number of candidate item sets, see, this process of support counting, that is calculation of support counting, will be very expensive. Okay, so in order to reduce the this expensive process of support counting, we have got one more approach, that is enumeration of the item sets that are present in each of the transaction. We will be listing all the item sets that are present in the transaction, and then we will be finding the support count. Okay, so using this enumeration, we will be updating the support count of the candidate item set. So that is one of the advantageous approach compared to this that is expensive approach, where we will be comparing each of the transaction with each of the candidate item set. It will be very expensive. Instead of that, we can enumerate the item sets which are present in the transaction. Enumeration is nothing but we will be listing all the candidate item sets, okay, which are present in the transaction. Then we will compare those candidate item sets with the given candidate item sets. So based on that, we can count the support count. Okay, so I'll just repeat here. The support counting, it is the process of determining the frequency of occurrence, or it is the process of determining the count of the total number of transactions in which that item set is present. Okay, so that frequency of occurrence of the candidate item sets, so it is called as support countings, and this process will be done after candidate pruning. That is, after removing the candidates by applying the a priori algorithm, we will be finding the support count of the candidates. Okay, and this support counting, it is implemented in steps 4 to 7 in the a priori algorithm. And one of the method that we have followed for support counting is, we have compared each of the transaction with each of the candidate item set, And if that candidate item set is present in the transaction, then we have incremented the support count of the candidates. Okay, but the disadvantage of this approach is the method that we have followed is it is very, very computationally expensive, because if there are more number of transactions and the candidate item sets, it will be consuming a lot amount of time, and also it will be incurring lot of cost. Okay, that is the disadvantage. So one of the alternative method which is least expensive, which we can use even for support counting, is by enumerating the item sets which are present in the transaction. See, by following this enumeration method, we can find the support count by updating the support count of the candidate item sets here. So I will explain you one example. So see here, see we have got the transactions here, that is the transaction list 1 2 3 5 6. So it is one of the transaction which is present in the transaction database. Okay, so now the thing is, see by enumerating the item sets, see how we can find the support count of the candidates here. Okay, so in order to find the support count, okay, so support count of these candidate item sets, see we need to that is compare the item sets here. Okay, so item sets which are present in the that is the transaction with the candidate item sets. That is the thing that we will be following in order to find the support count. Okay, now coming to the enumeration, see here, if you observe, the total number of items which are present in the transaction is 5. Okay, we need to form a candidate 3 item set here. Okay, so if we count the total number of candidate 3 item set, it will be 5C3. So 5C3 is nothing but see the total number of that is candidate 3 item set. So it will be equal to 10 here, because total number of items in the transaction is 5, and we need to find the candidate 3 item sets here. So total number of items which will be present that is in this enumeration will be 5C3, that is 10 candidate item sets will be present. Okay, so in order to find the support count of these candidates, say we need to that is compare the support count with the candidate item sets which are present at the bottom. Okay, so these are the candidate item sets. So we need to traverse from root to that is leaf nodes here. Okay, and if that item set is present, then we will be incrementing the support count of that candidate item set. If it is not present, then we will not increment the support count. Okay, so now the thing is about the enumeration, that is how exactly we have formed the enumeration of the candidate 3 item sets here. Okay, so actually if you look here, say at the level 1, we have indicated the that is item sets that are going to begin with 1. Okay, so that is 1 and then 2 and then 3. Since we are forming a candidate 3 item sets here, there must be 3 items in the candidate item sets here. So we can have 3 possibilities for defining the initial that is item in these candidates. So it can be either 1 or 2 or 3. That is the beginning item can be either 1 or 2 or 3. It cannot be 5 and 6, because if you consider the 5 and 6 here, will not be having one more item left in order to form a candidate 3 item set. So at the level 1, say we will be specifying the total number of that is items. Okay, so that are going to begin with the first item. That is, it can be either 1, 2 or 3. So the level 1 is going to specify the number of ways in which the first item in the 3 item set can be defined. Okay, so we have got 3 different ways in which we can define the first item. It can be either 1 or 2 or 3. So this level 1 specifies the total number of ways of specifying the first item here. Okay, so now after fixing the first item at the level 2, so we'll fix the second item here. So in order to form a that is candidate 3 item set here, see even the items can even begin with 1 2 or 1 3 or 1 5. That is for these that is items here. So it can begin with 1 2 or 1 3 or 1 5. Okay, so if we consider these items, so it can begin with 2 3 or 2 5. Okay, and here in this subtree, so it can begin with 3 5. Okay, so at the level 2, see we have defined the total number of candidate that is the total number of ways of specifying the candidate item sets that begin with the that is 2 items here. It can be either 1 2 1 3 1 5 2 3 2 5 or 3 5. Okay, next at the level 3, see we will be defining the actual candidate item sets here. Since we have fixed the first item here in these item list, so next candidate 3 item sets can be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 5, and then 1, 2, 6, or it can be 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 6, and then 1, 5, 6, and then here it is 2, 3, 5, and then 2, 3, 6, and then 2, 5, 6, and then 3, 5, 6. So totally we have defined total 10 number of candidate item sets, that is candidate 3 item sets here. Suppose if that item, if this candidate item set, if it is present in the transaction, then its support count will be incremented. If it is not present in the transaction, then it will not be incremented. So here we will be reducing the number of comparisons, because see, we will be traversing this, that is the tree here. Okay, so if that item set is present in that, then only we will, that is increment. So since we are comparing only with the subtree that is containing the item set here, so the computational complexity is less here compared to the method that we have followed in the a priori algorithm. So this is one of the effective method, that is enumeration of the candidate item sets here. So in order to do the enumeration, see what we have done is, see at the level 1, see we have fixed the first item of the candidate 3 item set. Okay, so that is first item can be either 1, 2, or 3. So the level 1 is going to specify the number of ways in which we can specify the first item of the candidate 3 item set. Okay, next at the level 2, see we have fixed the 2 items of the candidate 3 item set. So it can be either 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 5, 2, 3, 2, 5, or 3, 5. Okay. Next at the level 3, see we will be defining the actual candidate 3 item set by choosing the next element. So it can be either 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 5, and then 1, 2, 6. And then here it can be either 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 6, and then 1, 5, 6. See here 2, 3, 5 next item, and then 2, 3, 6. Okay, then 2, 5, 6, 3, 5, 6. Okay. So this is the enumeration of the candidate item set. So now if that element is present in the transaction, this is 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. See, since here all the items are present here, so it will be compared with all the candidates here. So total number of comparisons will be equal to total number of that is candidate item sets for this transaction. Suppose if that element is not present, then we will not compare the that is transaction with that candidate item set, because that item itself is not present there. So no need to do the comparison. If it is not present, then will not compare. So there will be less number of comparisons here in this method. Okay. So this is one of the method where we can reduce the number of comparisons for the that is support counting of the candidate item set. And one more method is that is using the hash tree. See, hash tree even it can be used here in order to that is find the support count of the candidates here. See, again it is one of the effective method. Okay, so compared to the method that we have followed, where we have compared each of the candidate with each of the transactions. So it is computational expensive. Okay. So this hash tree, so it is going to reduce the number of comparisons here. See again, see in this hash tree method, see what we will be doing is, see we will that is partition the candidate item sets, and we will keep those item sets in the bucket. Okay, that is the item sets, candidate item sets are stored in the buckets of the hash tree. Okay, and also the transactions will also be partitioned, and again they will be stored in the buckets of the hash tree. Okay, so see here, these are the candidate 2 item sets. See, we have got the candidate 2 item sets. These candidate 2 item sets are partitioned into different buckets here. They are placed in the different buckets of a hash tree. Now the transactions, see again, these will be partitioned here. See, bread and milk, see it will be considered as one of the partition, and it will be placed in a this bucket. Okay, and then bread diapers, see bread diapers will be present in the second bucket. Okay, so like that, say we will be partitioning the transactions also, and we will keep them in the that is hash tree, the bucket of the hash tree. Okay. So now instead of comparing each of the item of the transaction with every candidate item set, see we will be comparing with the candidate item set, okay, which is matching here. Okay, so see here, see bread and milk will be matched with that is second that is bucket of the hash tree, because it is the bucket that is containing that item set. We will not compare this bread and milk with the first bucket. Okay, so in the same way, see bread and diapers, it will be compared with the second that is bucket, because it is present in the second bucket of a hash tree. So in the same way, And then if we consider beer and bread, see beer and bread is present in the first bucket. So the comparison will be done with this first bucket here. It will not be compared with the second and third bucket. So like that, see, we will be reducing the number of comparisons. So candidate item sets are also hashed into different buckets here, or they are placed into different buckets of a hash tree. And while performing the support counting, again, the items which are present in the transactions, see, they are also hashed into the appropriate buckets here. Okay, so like that, see, I told one example, that is bread and milk. So it will be hashed into second bucket because the candidate two item set, that is bread and milk, it's present is in the second bucket of the hash tree. So no need to compare with the first and the third, that is bucket of a hash tree. So like this, we will be reducing the number of comparisons in the hash tree method. Okay. So now, see, that is the thing that I told, that is reducing the number of comparisons. So again, this process, it has been used for, that is candidate counting. So again, here we will be scanning the database of transactions to determine the support count. Okay, so in order to reduce the number of comparisons here, so we'll be hashing these, that is the transactions to the appropriate bucket of a hash tree. Okay, so instead of matching the each of the transaction against every other, that is candidate here, we will be hashing the transactions only to the bucket that contains the candidate. If it is not present in the bucket, it will not be hashed or it will not be placed in that bucket. So like this, we will be reducing the number of that is comparisons in case of hash tree approach. Okay, so now coming to one of the example, see, that is how we can use this hash tree in order to find the support count of the candidate. So see here, see the hash function that we have used is, that is h of p is equal to p mod 3. So this is the hash function that we have used here. Okay, in order to perform the hashing here, that is h of p is equal to p mod 3. Okay, so now see here, see, we know how this mod is going to work. Okay, so mod is going to return the remainder. So now in order to that is place the items here in the left and then middle and the right subtree of this hash tree. Okay, so we have used this p mod 3. See, we know that, see, 147, they are going to give the remainder, that is 1, whenever these three numbers are divided by, that is 3. So 1 mod 3 is 1, 4 mod 3 is also 1, and then 7 mod 3 is also 1. So remainder will be 1 when we divide this 147 by 3. So we will hash these 147 to the left subtree of the hash tree. And then 258, they are hashed to the middle subtree, because whenever we divide this 2, 5 and then 8 by 3, we'll get the remainder as 2. Since these three numbers, they are going to give the same remainder, that is 2. So they are hashed to these middle subtree. So in the same way, 369, see, they are hashed to the right subtree, because all these 369, they are going to give the remainder as 0 whenever they are divided by 3. So they are hashed to the right subtree. Okay. So whenever the number is 147, okay, so then we need to traverse the left subtree, or we need to map the candidates to the left subtree, because all these numbers are going to give the remainder, that is 1 whenever they are divided by 3. So in the same way, 258, it is mapped to the middle subtree, because see, all these numbers 258, they are going to give the remainder 2 whenever they are divided by 3. So in the same way, 369, they must be traversed in the right subtree, or they must be mapped to the right subtree, because whenever they are divided by 3, they will be giving the remainder, that is 0. Okay, so now coming to the that is the support counting process. See here, we have got the transaction that is contains the 5 items, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 are the items which are present in the transaction. So now the thing is, see, I need to perform the support counting here in order to determine the support count of the candidates here. Okay, so now how we can do that? Okay, so see here, so the support counting process, it has been shown in this diagram. Okay, so see, we will start with the first item here. So that is first item can be either 1 or 2 or 3, as I said in the previous diagram. Okay, so if it is 1, item is 1, then we need to traverse in the left subtree. Okay, so if the item is 2, then we need to traverse in the middle subtree. And if the item is 3, then we need to traverse in the, that is right subtree. Okay, so we are fixing the first item here in order to perform the support counting. That is, we need to determine the support count of the candidates here. So in order to determine the support count, we need to consider the subsets of the transactions here. So subsets can be either they begin with 1 or 2 or 3. So we have fixed the first item of the subset here. Okay. So after fixing the subset, now the thing is we need to decide which subtree we need to traverse. See, as I explained in the previous diagram, that is, if the item is 1, then we need to traverse the the left subtree. If it is 2, then we need to traverse the middle subtree. If it is 3, then we need to traverse the right subtree. So see here, if it is 1, then we will be traversing the left subtree. Okay, then if it is 2, then we'll be traversing the middle subtree. If it is 3, then we'll be traversing the right subtree. Okay, so we have mapped the first item, or we have hashed the first item of the transaction. Next level is, see, after fixing the first item, next thing is we need to fix the next item, second item. So second item can be either 2 or 3 or 5. Okay, so if it is 2, so then again, see, after selecting the left subtree, if it is 1 2, so then you will be traversing the middle subtree, that is the middle subtree of the first left subtree. Okay, so here I need to check for that candidate. So if it is 1 3, so 1 3, see, it is present in this right that is subtree of this left subtree. Okay, again, if it is 1 5, see, 1 5, again they will be giving the that is the 2 and 5, that is they will be giving the same remainder. So 2 and 5 items, they will be present in the middle subtree. Okay, so like this, see, we will be comparing the candidate item sets here. So appropriate, that is subtrees will be traversed here while performing the support counting. So in the same way, if you come to this one, say 2 3, okay, so items, so that is 2 3, so it will be present in this that is middle subtree. And then 3 5, say, it will be present here. So once we get these subsets, so we will be comparing those subsets with the candidates. If it is present, then we will be implementing the support count of that candidate. So this is the process that we will be following in the hash tree, because we want to reduce the number of, that is, comparisons in the support counting process. That we can done that can be done only if we follow the that is support counting using the hash tree. So in the hash tree, so see here, see, the items will be present, that is candidate item sets will be present at the bottom, that is bottom of this or at the leaf nodes of this tree. Okay, so if you have got a transaction, so then you will be fixing the first item here. After fixing, then you need to decide which that is subtree I need to traverse here, whether it is left subtree, middle subtree, or the right subtree. Okay, so this one item, it is present in the left subtree, so I need to traverse this one. This 2 item, it is present in the middle subtree, so I need to traverse this path. And 3 item, it is present in the, that is right subtree, so I need to traverse this one. Okay, so after fixing the first item, next is the second item. So second item can be either 2 3 5, or even it can be 6. Okay, so sorry, it cannot be 6, so it can be the 2 3 5. Okay, so after fixing the second item, so see here, I need to decide again in the left subtree, so which must be the right that is the subtree in that. Okay, so 1 2, see, they are present in this that is middle subtree of this left subtree. And then 1 3 is present in this right subtree. And then 1 5 is present here in the that is middle subtree, because these 2 and then 5, they give the same remainder whenever we divide that number by 3. So here we need to traverse. So in the same way, so if you consider the prefix as 2, then we need to traverse in the middle subtree. And if the prefix is 3, then we need to traverse here. So appropriate hashing will be done here. Appropriate hashing of the item sets of the transaction will be done. Okay, so after hashing, then we will count the support count. Okay, so because of that reason, there is a decrease in the number of comparisons here in case of hashing approach. So this is about the hashing that is hashing method that is used for performing the support counting. Okay, so next topic, so better I will discuss in the next class. Okay, so just wait for 2 minutes, I will take your attendance.